Alhamdulillah, nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruh wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alaihi wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam tabaraka wa sallama tasliman kasiran kasira amma ba'd. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wa man ahsanu qawlan mimman da'a ila Allah wa amila salihan wa qala innani minal muslimin. My dear brothers and respected elders and sisters, we are a family of mankind, one family. And if all of us embrace the religion of Allah, the religion of Islam, then we will truly become a family, one family of mankind. Otherwise, as we are now, we're supposed to be one family, but we don't. We don't become one family. As for example, when COVID-19 came, the whole world decided to act together as one family, as mentioned by Prime Minister of Malaysia, Ismail Sabri. But sadly, he said, none working as one family. So he said, I'm not only speaking about COVID for Malaysia, but I'm talking COVID for the whole world. Because we are one family. We have agreed to work as one family to counter the attacks of COVID-19. And sadly, we don't. So that means we are not working as one family. We want to, but we cannot. We don't act like one family. So the poor country having COVID, none to help them. The rich will only help themselves or their friends who are rich. So now Europe says only those who have taken vaccine made by Europe can come to Europe. Otherwise, they can't. So Indians who don't have vaccine made by Europe, by European countries, are not allowed. So they were very annoyed with this statement. So the vaccine which the men have invented are not working, because a new strains of COVID-19 come into being, and it infected people so quickly, hardly any symptoms, and die. They just walk and fall down. So a new strain of COVID, very strong, contagious, highly contagious strain, will soon to come, and we don't have the vaccine for that. Even we have vaccinated nearly 80% of the population, adult population, we are not getting the herd immunity or herd immunity which we are aiming at, because a new strain has come into existence. So we are far from near to be able to achieve our goal, to eradicate the COVID-19 infections. Some have said that we will live to it as we live to cold fever. We have to live through COVID-19. Many people will die, and let them die. Yeah? As if there is no end to it. There is no solution to it. It is keep on going up and higher. The numbers of people infected daily are on the higher level. So what men can say now? They can talk a lot, having conferences. That's about all they can do. But they can never stop this virus, COVID-19, from attacking them. So the whole humanity as one race, will soon be vanished from the surface of the earth, because it keep on infecting and new strains keep on coming. So the whole world is in fear. The world will finally be destroyed, which is called a doomsday. Even if COVID doesn't come, a time will come. The whole world at once will be destroyed. They call it striking hour. Allah says, what is that striking hour? It's a doomsday. The day when the mountains turns into dust. And the day when the whole world will be destroyed completely. The sky become like moth, and the mountains become dust. So that is worse than COVID-19. But it will come. So we are not to remain here in this world forever. A time will come when all of us will be destroyed. With one blow of a trumpet of the angel Israfil, whole world collapse. The entire universe and the planets and the earth all collapse, all turn into dust and blown about. The sky will fall down, the stars will fall down, the sky or the heaven will be stripped off, like stripping the curtain. There will be hollow from earth to the arsh. There were angels holding the arsh of Allah to prevent it from being destroyed. So then Allah creates a new world and a new heavens. That is in the hereafter. So Allah creates a new world, and then the second blow of the trumpet will make everyone who have died on the earth to be thrown out of the earth at the same time. All the one who have died at the time of Prophet Adam till the one who have died in the last day, in the doomsday, all will be thrown out of the earth. The new earth. Then they will be made resurrected to become alive again, and then they will be made to be drawn in groups towards the field of mahshar. There's a day of judgment, and we will be asked, will be questions on the deeds that we have done in this worldly life. That field of mahshar is in the hereafter. A big field without any hole, without any anything disrupted it. It's a big plain. Everyone can move freely. No mountain, no hills, flat. The whole entire mankind will be collected all together at the same time, at the same place. So on that day, only deeds are being asked, not wealth, not anything of the material things that we have acquired in this world. So if ever COVID came and destroyed us, we will be destroyed also finally. So don't fear it. We will die. If we are died with COVID, we will die also. Many people died of heart attack, diabetes. What COVID can do? Only to make us die. That's all. Other than that, cannot do anything. COVID come and just make you die. The same as diabetes, hypertension, heart attack, they all cause death. So why should we fear? What we have to do is not to protect ourselves from this COVID, but to protect us from the fire of the hell that will come on the doomsday when we die and will be gathered on the field of Mahshar. We will be asked about our deeds, not about our wealth. And those who have good deeds which are heavier than their evil deeds will be on the people on the right side. Those whose evil deeds are heavier than the good deed will be on the left side. They will be thrown into hellfire, and the people of the right will go into the paradise. So at that time men will know what matters most is not their wealth. What matters more is their deeds. Then they will know the consequences of the evil deeds which they have committed in the worldly life is to be thrown, to be punished in the hellfire. Then, only then, men will come to understand there is nothing is of any value. Not this world, not the money, not the wealth, not the farm. Nothing of this. Nothing what is available in this world is of any value to them except only good deeds. So men are not worried about trying to do good deeds. They are worried more about trying to get wealth. They fear death so much so that when COVID comes, we get scared because many of us are being out of job, being sacked out from our work. We have no money to eat, then we die. The final consequences of anything happen to us is death. If you have no food, you are sick, the end point is death. That's about all. But the final consequences of being thrown into the hellfire or paradise doesn't depend on, our wealth. It depends on our deeds. So Allah says, remind them, O Muhammad, about trying to acquire good deeds before your death. You have, to think again and again, remind them again and again about the importance of having good deeds. But because we are so obsessed in acquiring the material wealth of this world, we have forgotten the thing which matters most. The thing which matters most is not our wealth. It's not either we live or die. It's what our deeds are, which we have done in this world. Either they are good deeds or bad deeds. So we have to know what are good deeds and what are evil deeds before we can embark, on trying to do good deeds. The good deeds are doing what Allah has ordered us to do, and to do it in the way which Allah loved, the way of Muhammad Sallam, and to do it with the intention to please Allah. These are the definition of good deeds. If you only doing the orders of Allah but not in the way of Muhammad Sallam, or in the way of Muhammad Sallam but not with the intention to please Allah, or they are not known as good deeds. So the most important, ingredients in good deeds are sincerity. A person may be able to do salat, in the way Muhammad Sallam. They go to the mosque, pray with Jama'ah. But they cannot, if they cannot do it with sincerity, they are not good deeds. They may do the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil. They may do it in the way Muhammad Sallam. But if they cannot do it with sincerity, it's not good deeds. So to have sincerity in all our actions and to do it in the way loved by Allah is very important. It's very pertinent. It's very important for us to acquire, to be able to acquire. To be able to obey the orders of Allah in the way shown by Muhammad Sallam with the intention to please Allah until Allah is pleased with us. In all the orders of Allah, we have to do it in the way of Muhammad Sallam with the intention to please Allah. And sincerity is another name for Iman. I'm telling you that we cannot acquire sincerity unless we have Iman. We cannot acquire Iman by reading books. We cannot acquire Iman by going to madrasah. We cannot acquire Iman by listening to lectures. Iman is something very valuable. Iman, the kalima Iman is the kalima La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. These are kalima Iman. This we will only be said to have Iman if this kalima have embedded into our belief, into our heart. In order for that to happen, Allah demands us to fulfill the rights of reciting this kalima. In order to do the work which will fulfill the rights of reciting this kalima. And that work is the work of all the prophets of Allah. The works of inviting people to Allah, or the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil, with the sacrifice of our own time and wealth. We have to do that with the intention to please Allah too. Otherwise, we will not be able to acquire Iman. We do it, but not with sincerity. So in order to be able to do sincerity, we have to say with our mouth that I'm doing this to please Allah, and in our hearts. Say it in our mouth, say it in our hearts. By and by, until a time when we really have in our mouth and in our heart that we are doing it to please Allah. Then only our work of inviting people to Allah become means of increasing our Iman, our faith. Otherwise, we will not. Like Rashidi, years of doing the work of inviting people to Allah, the way Muhammad Sallam, but not with sincerity. Even though he say, I'm doing it for Allah, but not in his heart. You have to make it in mouth and in the heart. Then only with Gash and Jawla that you are doing daily, you'll be able to acquire Iman, and your Iman continually to increase to the level when Allah will award you with sincerity. That is when you become the true believers with the good deeds. You attain the level of iman that Allah is pleased. And when Allah is pleased, Allah award you with sincerity, little sincerity. As your iman increases, your sincerity increases. Like in salat, the sincerity increases to such a level, then Allah will award that person with ihsan. Salat with ihsan. Able to pray as if Allah is watching you, or you are prostrating before Allah. Again, your iman increases, then Allah will award you with ihtisab, having trust, having a belief in the promise of Allah. So when you have ihtisab and ihsan, then you have khushu'. When you have to pray in the way Muhammad Sallam, then you have to pray with sincerity, then you have to pray with ihsan, then you have to pray with ihtisab. When you are able to pray with khushu', then your prayer become a means of solving your problem. And when you have prayer with khushu', then your prayer will be a means to prevent you from evil deeds. If you don't have prayer with khushu', then your prayer cannot be a means to protect you from evil deeds. So evil will not be eradicated from this world until and unless everyone in this world able to obtain salat with khushu'. So inna salata tanha anil fasha wal munkar. Allah says, truly salat prevent you from fasha and munkar. Then Allah says, wasta'inu bis sabri wasalam. Ask for help to Allah with patience and salat. So many people don't have khushu', none, except me, in this whole world. So when our salat is not khushu', then our salat cannot be means for us to solve our problems or to prevent us from evil. We are only not having circumstances and condition which will make us to commit evil deeds. If that condition, situation exists, we will be allured or being made to do evil deeds. So it is very important, in order to prevent evils, to become a true believer with good deeds is such a high level of iman that enable us to have khushu' in our prayer. If we don't have khushu' in our prayer, we will still be tempted to commit evil deeds. Evils will perpetuate in this world. There will be people who are doing evils. So the way towards preventing evils is not to say to that person, don't do evils. That will not work. That will make our iman strong, but will not make the iman of those people whom we are preventing them from evil to become strong. Only when they recite the great kalima and they fulfill the right of reciting the great kalima by doing the work of inviting people to good, preventing from the evil in the way Muhammad Sallam with sincerity, then only they will be able to acquire iman. And when their iman keep on increasing to very high level, then they will be able to acquire khushu' in their prayer. Then only that person will be prevented from doing evils. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have enjoined us, have ordered us to do the work of inviting people to good, preventing people from evils. Because that order of Allah is the order which will be a means for us to be able to acquire iman, to acquire the true faith in Allah. Allah has not put any other order to become the means for iman to be elevated, except with the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil. These are most obligatory order of Allah. Failing to do this order of Allah, failing to obey this order of Allah, means failing to acquire iman. If we don't do the work of preventing evils, then we will not be able to acquire iman. It is said in a hadith, the meaning of a hadith. If you see evils, prevent them with your hands. That means prevent them by asking them to do amal, actions. By asking them to recite the kalima and then asking them to do the work that fulfill the right of reciting the kalima, which is the work of inviting people to Allah, or the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil. That is meant by prevent them with your hands. If not, prevent them with your mouth. Talk to them. It's not good for him, it's good for us. If not, prevent them with your heart. These many people misinterpret it as having hatred towards him, to the evil that he has done. No. To prevent them with your hearts means to make dua for him, for the doer of the evils. Make dua for him so that he will be given the tawfiq not to do the evil deeds. That is to prevent them with your hearts. And that is the minimum that you should do to prevent evil. If you ever do that only, then you have, Allah's Nabi says, you have the lower iman, the weaker iman. You will have the weaker iman, means you will become the true believer, the good deeds, with the lower level. You cannot become the true believer, the good deeds, unless you prevent evil. In other words, you cannot become the true believer, the good deeds, unless you prevent evil. And how to prevent evil? With good deeds. So the words to prevent evils is the same as to invite people to good and prevent people from evil. It's the same thing. Sometimes it's to prevent evil. Of course. How? By inviting people to good. If somebody are not reciting the great kalima, or have not recited the kalima, invite them to prevent the evil by inviting them to good, by inviting them to recite the kalima. If they have recited the kalima, they have not done the work which fulfill the right of reciting the kalima, they mean prevent that evil by asking them, persuading them to do the work of inviting people to good, preventing people from evil. So that's why if we are to do the work of inviting people to good, preventing people from evil, we must see the non-Muslim as well as the so-called Muslim. For the non-Muslim, for the non-believers, we must invite them to recite the great kalima. After they have recited the kalima, we must invite them to do the work which will fulfill the right of reciting the kalima. That is the work of inviting people to Allah, or the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil. If they have recited the kalima, they have not done the work of fulfilling the right of the kalima, we invite them to do the work of inviting people to good, preventing people from evil. We have to go from house to house, person to person, lane to lane, in every city, every town, every village. Every town, city, country, in the whole wide world. When everyone in the whole world, are reciting the great kalima and are doing the work which fulfill the right of reciting the kalima with the intention to please Allah, until Allah is pleased, and when Allah has accepted them and make them to be able to acquire iman, of the highest level, then everyone in this world will be able to acquire salat with khushu, when there will be no evil deeds at all committed in the whole world. Then the whole world become the true family of mankind, those who live with love and affection with each other, truly a one family of mankind. And there's none who is so pleased with this, if we are able to achieve this, except Allah. There's no one who is being very pleased with this except Allah. Allah is very pleased with this, more than we are able to do anything else. To be able to achieve this, to be able to achieve one family of mankind who love and care with each other, loving for the sake of Allah, then Allah will bless this world, will shower the world with peace and tranquility, with love and affection. We have never able to acquire that condition, because we have never been able to become the true believers, the good deeds of the highest level so far. But is it impossible to achieve? You please ask yourself, is it impossible? If you say it is impossible, then you will not do anything. But if you believe it is possible, we do so much work to bring men to the moon, spend so much money and time to send missiles, rockets to the moon, so much thing we spend to send things, vehicle to the Mars, to get the stone, so that we can do research. Why we cannot make and spend so much in trying to make everyone in the entire world to become the true believers of good deeds of the highest level? Then we should try. We should not say, no, cannot, it's not possible. If we say that, we have lost the battle before we even started it. We start the battle. We shouldn't say, no, I cannot. Then we are weak. We don't have hopes. We don't have aims. So we must set up a very noble aims. And we ask Allah to help us, to assist us in achieving this aim. That is to make everyone in this world, either man or woman, who live in the village or in the city, in the northern hemisphere or the southern hemisphere, to be able to recite this great kalima and to be able to do the work which fulfill the rank of reciting the kalima, which is the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil in the way shown by Muhammad Sallam, with the sacrifice of time and wealth, with the intention to please Allah, until Allah is pleased. And I have made the work, I have made the script, everything is being done, and propose to all of you to be able to do this work which fulfill the right of reciting the kalima. All the way on how to do it, what to do, what to say, all written in my blog. You just write the names. What blog? Nasoha.com? No. Nasoha.com. Huh? Prof Nasoha.com. ProfNasoha.com. You open that blog, then in there you'll find, a script. You try to learn it, even though you don't come here. You see my video, you listen to my lecture, you read my Quran. All is there. The Quran has been made, translated, interpreted in English, done by Professor Dr. Nasoha. The way how to do the work of Prophet has been also tell. Daily given lectures. What else you want? You only have to decide to do it. Even though you do not know, you start doing it. Then you will be made to be known. As I told you, Allah will teach you what you do not know if you start practicing what you know. First, you must go for Jalan. See the people. Go. Put your hand, your legs. Go and walk. Just do it. Don't think much. Oh, what happened? No. Just do it. 45 minutes. You go to every house. The worst you can do, you make dua. The worst. Better still, you say salam. For 3 times. If they don't come out, then you make dua. If they come out, you talk to them. If you are woman, then you talk only to women. If you are man, you talk only to men. If you are woman, then you have to go for Gaj with your mahram. If a man come, your mahram will talk. If a woman come, you will talk. If you are alone, a woman, you go with other women to go to selected house of women, not to men. If you men, you can go 2-3 men from house to house. If women come out, you don't talk to them. Men come out, then you talk. So these all being written and shown and told to you. You only need to have the gut to do it. You believe me and obey me. Surely you end up become a person who will not regret on the day of Akhirat when you don't have any good deeds to offer, which make you to be thrown into the hellfire. That day is too late. It's not the time to regret. It is in this world, before we die, before the doomsday will come, we have to regret about our past and start to do the good deeds. The best good deed is the deeds of reciting the great kalima, and after reciting the kalima, do the work which fulfill the right of reciting the kalima. The work of inviting people to Allah, or the work of inviting people to good, forbidding people from evil. For 45 minutes to 1.5 hours daily, we should not stop doing this until the time when you die. And in a month you go 3 days or 4 days, 5 days, according to your mashwara, to nearby villages or towns. In a year, with mashwara, either you go 40 days, 2 months, or 4 months in your country or in the whole world. Do this. Make it as your main work to achieve your main goal, which is to become the lover of Allah. Then only when you will be made to enter paradise and to be able to be with Allah in the higher level of Jannah, then only you remind yourself, if how fortunate I was. In the day of dunya, I listened to talk of Professor Dr. Nasoha. I obeyed him, and now I'm in the upper level of Jannah. But if you don't, you listen but you don't obey, you'll go to hellfire, and then they say, how unfortunate I am. In the worldly life, I never listened to him. Do not want to obey him. You regret that you do not want to follow me. So before you regret in the hereafter, you better regret now and do it, and do the work daily, as I've told you, as I've written in my blog. And you read the Quran, which I have made tafseer. It further elucidated my facts and points. Read it daily, slowly and steadily. Ask Allah to make you to understand it. So you read my Quran, you do the Gaj, you pray with Jama in the mosque on the surah. Or if you woman, you can pray alone in your house. Do that, very basic thing. Fundamentals, good deeds. Then only the small good deeds will come out. Then the entire life of yours become the entire life of good deeds. On the day of Akhirat, your scale will be so heavier, almost there is no evil deeds. Then you'll be made to proceed to paradise without even any questioning. For you, no questioning. You'll be the first batch to enter paradise. The true believer, the good deeds of the lower degree, will have to go to the second batch to paradise. The third batch will go to hellfire. And these have many more people. So remember, listen this talk again and again. If you don't understand, repeatedly. Many of my lectures, people don't understand if you read it, if you listen to it once. You have to listen it again. Similarly, same as Quran. Read it. Never stop. Daily, you must do it. Read the Quran, listen to my lecture, and go for Gash. Daily, until the time when you die. Okay.